Hey guys, this is Cameo or Rosie Red Charizard here, and today's video is about fate. You heard me correct. Fate. So, everyone knows what fate is. I'll actually read the definition of it. The development of events beyond the person's control regarded as determined by supernatural power. For me, I do believe in fate because as a backstory for Case and I actually almost ended up meeting him back in 2017, 2016 or 2017, one of the two. And it was when I was first forced to move down to West Virginia after graduation. And it was before he met his ex. It was before I met my second ex. It was around the time that I was like on and off talking to my first. And I was when I was living in West Virginia, I got dragged to go to Harper's Ferry, which Harper's Ferry is this big, beautiful, historic town that has a giant bridge that you can walk across. And when you go across the bridge opposite of the town, you end up towards like the river and down where you can go fishing. And my family decided to go into Olney, the town. We were going to cross the bridge, but coming from New York to West Virginia, where the water, the weather is a lot hotter in West Virginia, or like the lower the state you go. And of course, with my EDS and also being used to cold weather, I couldn't stand too much heat. And of course, we didn't have water or anything because we're never prepared. So we were gonna go across the bridge, but we stopped and got water, and then we left early because of the whole overheating thing. And it turns out Casey was actually right across that bridge fishing, and we were there at the same time on the same date, and it was actually right across from where his stepdad lives. And if I actually crossed that bridge, I probably would have ended up meeting my fiance a lot earlier, and we probably both would have not went through so much heartache. Like, I'm glad that I met my second ex, just because, like, I had my kid, and then also it allowed me to mature more. Not just from having a kid, but the relationship made me mature more. So, from having to deal with that, it allowed me to better myself. I was very selfish uh, when I first started dating. I was dealing with a lot of problems, especially mentally, because of dealing with the trauma I've been through. And then he was going through the same stuff, more or less. He went through a lot of stuff, which I'm not going to disclose it unless he actually wants to. But before he met his ex, he went through a lot of stuff. And then when he started dating his ex, it just got worse. Um, and I feel like since he was so young and I was so young during then, and how we both were very headstrong and we had selfish tendencies during then, we probably wouldn't have made it work that well. And now, since we're more of adults, I think it works better just because we've been through it all. We know that we need to communicate. We need to actually listen to each other and not be so headstrong or more of a wall that no one can talk to. Like, I'll admit it, um, back when I was dating, I wasn't the greatest person. I tried my best, but I also went through spurts where I just argued so much. And that was not a very great time for me, just because I wasn't being listened to. I was dealing with my knee going out. My ex's family didn't really give a crap about when my knee went out. They just kind of thought I was overdoing it, or like, uh, how to explain it. They knew I wasn't faking my problems, but they just didn't give a crap. That's kind of what happened. But then I also ended up with Casey, and within my first date, my knee went out after my back injury and everything. And he went into full protective mode, and I never had that. And after him doing that, it's like, you're never leaving my side, bud. Whether you like it or not. Given he has a choice, he can leave anytime. I'm just joking around. But yeah, he went through some really toxic stuff with his ex, and he has some scars from it that still show to this day. But I've been in his corner helping him heal, and I don't think I have much scars from my relationships other than, like, you would call it mental scars because of a lot of being neglected and ignored. But I really do believe that fate exists because I really feel like Casey and I are soulmates, which I don't toss that around so easily. Him and I have the same personality, almost the same love in everything. We've been through the same amount of trauma, I would say, and I want to say the trauma actually made us closer. So this is actually kind of like a thank you letter to his ex. It's like, thank you for traumatizing him, but at the same time, I don't like that you traumatized him because I love him. um, but yeah, if anyone shares like special fate stories, feel free to tell me them. I love hearing those kind of stories. Like, I go around telling people that me and my baby share the same birthday uh, because I have him on my 21st birthday. And people are like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I ended up with an amazing man. I'm have an amazing kiddo that is such a sweetheart. Which it sounds a little biased, but at the same time, he is a sweetheart. He doesn't hit, he doesn't scream. Like, sure, he cries a little bit, but he has like that quiet cry and the chest voice of what me and my brother have. So when he talks, sometimes he's really quiet. Um, but yeah, I knew this video was gonna be kind of long. Well, not super long, just because I wanted to share Casey and I's fate story, where we both posted pictures on the same day in the same location, and sometimes we talk about like the what if we ended up together, and we're kind of like, well, we probably would end up in the same scenario of moving in together and everything, and also maybe we would move back here, or maybe we would have found a cheaper place before inflation happened. And maybe it would have just all fell apart because of how we were when we were younger. But at the same time, you can't question your life with tons of what ifs. And sometimes I do wish that I did meet him sooner because he's only a year older than me. It's not like we're 10 years, 6 years apart. So if I ended up moving down there and went to college down there when my mom wanted me to, I probably would have met Casey. Because originally she wanted me to go to Shepherdstown, the art college down there. And I was down for the idea of it, but my SAT scores didn't show correct. Because during my senior year, I didn't have any math classes or anything, so I'm not very book smart. I'm more street smart. That's why I don't try to show like my house or like the street that I live on or anything like that. And I know not to talk to strangers, all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's like the high possibility of us meeting back then, so high. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, I really wish it would have happened. Just so that we wouldn't have gone through so much heartache and wouldn't have so much mental scars from it. But yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble about fate and how Casey and I could have met back then. I just kind of like sharing the story. But yeah, if you guys have any video ideas or want to share your own little fate story with me, go ahead, comment it below. I'm all for it. I love hearing love stories. Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, and he is too, so it's just kind of like, oh. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.